Hi, Glenn here. In my last video, I went over the details of a homemade panoramic camera I built using 4 GoPros, a circuit board, an aluminum enclosure, and an application that runs on my Android phone. Well, today I'm here to show you the viewer software that I wrote that goes along with that camera. Since I built the camera and wrote the software, I've had a chance to go out and capture 2/3 of a mile of trail. And today we're going to kind of look at a few spots on that trail using the viewer application that goes with the camera. In the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you have the current view of the trail. In the upper right-hand corner, you have some statistics about the trail and the view, the current panorama number, the compass heading, your heading relative to the trail, the camera pitch, and the vertical field of view of the camera. In the lower left-hand portion of the window, you have a little map. The map has a green flag at the start of the trail, a red flag at the end of the trail, and a little green dot to indicate your position on the trail. In the lower right hand corner of the window is an elevation profile which shows you your elevation along the trail, and again the green dot represents your current location. So let's go back up to the viewing portion of the window, and right now we're standing in Horsetooth Mountain Park looking towards Laurie State Park, and there's a little gate there that separates the two parks. So using the mouse in the viewer window, we can do things like look up, we can look down, and we can look to our left, and we can look to our right. So that's kind of the base of the mouse navigation. We can also zoom in. So there's that gate in a little bit more detail, and we can zoom out to give us a little bit wider perspective. And then as we move and pan and scroll, all those movements are reflected in the numbers in the upper right hand corner. So right now we're standing in Horsetooth, we're facing the gate. Let's go ahead and click the next trail button, or the next panorama button. That lets us move a step down the trail. So now we're a step down the trail, and sure enough, if we look behind us, there's the gate that we just walked through. So let's turn ourselves back facing down the trail again. And let's take a couple more steps. I'm just going to kind of slowly move down the trail. Let's go ahead and take one more step. And if you notice, as we're moving down the trail, the little green dot here is moving with us to indicate our position on the trail. So now we're looking down to the trail. That's Horsetooth Reservoir in the background there. Scroll around to our left, we can see another trail that kind of branched off, and there's a sign there. Scrolling close enough, we can kind of make out what the sign says. We can zoom out, and we can look behind us. One thing that's kind of cool is if you zoom all the way out, you can kind of look here and see that that was the trail behind us, that was the trail in front of us, and that's the trail that spurs off to the left there. So let's go ahead and look back down the trail. And I wanted to show you kind of one of the more interesting spots on the trail because of this big rock that's there. And we're almost there. I clicked on the profile and it moved us there. So there you can kind of see the rock. I'm going to go ahead and skip one more panorama. And there's the rock. So from this angle we can kind of tell that there's a rock across the trail, but we really can't see how big that rock is. So let's go ahead and move down the trail a little bit more. And let's look, turn around and spin around and look behind us. And now that we look behind us, we can see that, yeah, there is a bit of a drop there. It's not really a good line on this side, and this side's not really good lines. Your best bet is to probably just roll over the rock. So let's go ahead and look down the trail a little bit more, and we'll go ahead and take a few more steps and down into the corner. And there's the corner of the trail. And as we get to the corner of the trail, we can see the shadow of the panoramic camera on the tripod that's kind of holding it up. We can see that the people who built the trail have kind of put some rocks here to fortify that edge, and they put some more rocks there to fortify that edge, and just kind of goes down the trail. So now let's go down to a low spot in the trail. So we're just going to click on the elevation profile at the lowest spot, and down here we look around. And we can see that we are in fact at the lowest spot because there's a nice culvert right there across a creek that's mostly dry or only has a little bit of a trickle during most of the summer. So there's looking behind us. So let's just walk back one. So I click the left arrow to go back one. So now we can see that sign, the culvert's right through there. And if we look kind of this way, we can see the trail splits off to the right. So you can either go this way or you can go this way. I only have this way mapped. So now that we're kind of have there, let's go ahead and go back, take one step forward. Now we're back where we were. There's the culvert. There's the trail that's splintered off to the right. Looking behind us. And there's the back side of the sign we could see from the other view. And finally, let's kind of get closer to the parking lot here. And you see the dots there and the dots there. We're coming up towards a pretty big kiosk sign. And again, we can look to the right. So let's go ahead and take another step into the parking lot. There we go. Take another step in. And finally, let's just go ahead and move to the end of the trail here. And look behind us. So that's looking almost due east. And here's the parking lot. There's my truck. There's the sign that we saw earlier. And the trail runs along that fence line. So this is the web-based viewing application I wrote to go along with my homemade 360-degree panoramic camera. I hope you like this and find this useful. The viewing application is live at bikerglen.com, bikerglen.com. bikerglen.com. If you click through the blog posts there, there's a live version of this website. Keep in mind it's pretty slow. Each of the images served up is 2 megabytes and 8 megapixels, and I've done absolutely nothing to try to optimize the loading. So every time you move from one image to another image, it has to download 2 megabytes of data. I think in the future I'll change the way the images are loaded to try to speed that up. But right now this is strictly a proof of concept, so there's not a whole lot of I didn't put a whole lot of effort into optimizing the downloading and displaying of the images. Anyway, I hope you like this, and if you have any comments, feel free to post them in the comments section of this video, or feel free to send me a private message here. Thanks for your time, and until I make my next video, I'll see you later.